might find a stage or point in reality for a documentary and failing. The writing also reveals just how poor conservative comedy can be. The premise is that Jeremy Bourne plays a loser coach trying to find a way to prove himself as more than just a good man. He thinks it will be easier to get into the WNBA if he dresses up the male athletes as women and then dominates the women easily because men are inherently stronger than women. This fell hard. One of the early gags in the movie is that nobody really pays attention to the WNBA, and this joke reveals two things about the Daily Wire. First, they don't live in reality. There has been an increase in WNBA attendance, and second, they don't really give a shit about sports. If you were really that concerned about trans people having an unfair advantage in sports, you would not be joking that sport that you're watching. If that's your stance, then it really makes it seem as though
this is gonna be a match to remember.
attention towards music and sports. So, it's color, comedy devils, readers so entrenched in Daily Wire comic that consider the film as Daily Wire no comic plays the deck only to develop understand the trailer for the film was advertised as the most triggering comic. That's another point of view. Because for violent people to be offended by that concept gain their attention. And now how does survival everything be attracted and subscribe to the Fire Club? It was so massive, it was well in the audience, preserved all information because it will not even Daily Wire watch, even if that you're there are only two types of people who watch this. It's either the rating who literally buy anything that the Daily Wire is selling, or considered centrist and so-called against it. So watching this movie like they are somehow coaching.
Oh shit! Oh shit! No, May!
Does the Daily Wire expect those
same face, dude? Fuck. That's only your own. I'm just gonna not die, dude.
Microscopic amount of media by comparison. The late Powers film is fresh, especially the outfront, crowbarring,
oh shit, I was nice.
But what's so strange about this is how the characters almost sympathetic. Character reality is so much time when that falls right up as I don't know. So
fucking strong. No.
Well, he attacks him and tells him to stop. Like, how did you suck up your illness, Pet Jeremy Boring? Why do you make me feel sorry for a character? You feel confident.
What?
Why did you switch it away? That makes you like the villain. How are you so bad at making convincing propaganda? So why did the Daily Wire go back and report about making these movies?
Beat two of my chips.
Conservative slop? Well, the Daily Wire must rely on provocation to be relevant because a political media doesn't pay the bills. They try developing comparatively non-news productions that might appeal to the centrist crowd like Fun High Fight and Prairie.
Awesome.
And nobody cares. And that's how we ended up getting more conservative slobs like Mr. Burton. Mr. Burton and the Daily Wire's terrible attempt at that
Let me block this game.
This show actually has a history of trying to develop internal characters. The show was created by Roma, who had been perfecting the character of Mr. Burton for years prior. Yet, everything about the place was always multiple partner characters.
Of course it is.
That shows like the Man Show and really need to define it more as a wood show. Finally, Adam Roma was ready to take the next step. Get Mr. Burton going. Show, you know, the pilot is really quite bad. That was part of the plot. The premise for the current involved Mr. Burton because it was not sure and frustrated with the world. With King of the Hill having recently ended on Fox, it was the ideal time for Mr. Burton to swoop in as the next satirical cartoon about a guy who loves food. Unfortunately, Fox didn't pick up the show and they watched the pilot. Now, the way that the Daily Wire and Adam Roma mixed it was that the show is just politically correct for network television. I think they used to that the show is conservative for network television, and if you want to watch it with politically incorrect focus, might be different. However, the pilot has not lying, and it's just boring. The jokes are not all conservative and application, considering that virtually whining about fidelity and history is often encountered in this classroom setting.
Slay.
This is not the least bit offensive. It's just dull and kind of pathetic in how it's presented.
Oh, Japanese. Oh, I remember Japanese too, actually. Oh, the whole food semi side. My turn! Go, go, go!
Down the ground while and like, are we supposed to feel bad? Are we supposed to laugh at it? Hard to say, but this episode really I'm going to go on here and say that the real reason that Bond by this show was not that good or conservative.
No!
What? Fine. Now, the premise of how Hank Hill is framed in the first episode of Hank Hill. Hank is frustrated with the world and clearly has anger issues with his old-fashioned values tested in the modern world, but by the episode's end, he's remember his son and admits that he loves Bobby in his own special way. The thing like, sure, he'll say stupid things, he has that confused, but well, he's full of his own, and he loves his family, and that makes him a more endearing character. There's satire of people like his dad. There is that word, Mr. Virgil. As for Mr. Virgil, who on the animated series, well, that somehow ends up being worse. This version of Mr. Virgin is far less likable than the pilot character. The pilot version was at least grounded enough to be believable as an aggravating conservative teacher who groans and complains about the world, but is still proven wrong. Daily Wire Mr. Virgin is meaner, louder, less funny, and always proven right. There is no growth in the characters. There are no funny jokes for a teaching job. There is no clever political commentary that doesn't feel like it was basically so-hearted in the script. And the animation is progressively worse as the series continues. The show is just unwatchable, as if it were produced by a conservative dad. This doesn't know anything about the cartoons, but wants a cartoon cartoon. It doesn't matter if the story here is funny or even as cartoons like the Simpsons or the Elder Burgers. This one is for the decade dad. Only many people appreciate a show with such storylines as schools that are operating through wokeness, bitching about construction charities, and forcing your students to do your household construction projects without the consent of their parents. Sure, that's not the kind of a dad teacher. This is a funny show. Let's get it. This was the pathetic route that really wanted to fuck this going down. They've long since...
Oh, fault. I gotta do it for the reaction again. They want to be repressed. Still thinking about it, guys. Oh. It's wasted 10 years of our lives. What's going to happen?
Strictly conservative balance. It's more conservative, fine, and enjoyable, like else, fun. Though they made another animal, and called Empire Race. But this tackles the movement of the Earth. That might not be effective in their game. Now, however, is incapable of helping. He's established as someone who's cautious about moving black parties on black servers because he thinks it might be interpreted as racist. It's not bad. They're just fucking weird about it. They're probably racist. They're also not that right about history because they made up over racial issues in the 1990s. I can see that, you know, Matt had like an isolated childhood. They didn't know about fun running and co-racist environment. Kids turn up the heat on racism and race relations during that decade. Matt's just not smart enough to take into that history of race, let alone neoliberal flaws of feeding PBI as an industry. It's also not good at disguises. The joke of the show is that Matt is going to the cover as a white man with white guilt. He doesn't change much of anything with it, really. He has different clothes, different hair, but that's about it. He doesn't even put on a different voice because, let's be honest, he's got a versatile actor. You know, if you're familiar with Matt Walsh, you never once feel like they're here. The costume is so effective at covering up Matt's identity that when you try to honest audience, everybody spotted it. people familiar with the game inquired, hey, what's this weird guy? Kind of looks like Apple. What's he doing here? No, they were, I'll say, he wasn't Apple. Matt's adoption of a white people character is terrible, especially when it's not character born. As a beautiful wonder of black that far from people have to be at satire. Sasha Baron was designed for activation, character with no dress, personality, and backstory. In the opening of his 2006 film, Lawrence established as a fully realized person with ridiculous beliefs that go pain and fun. All of these details of Lawrence still enough to become an infiltrator of the suspected convictions. Moreover, Lawrence gave entertaining concepts on women, homosexuality, and age for wearing out bigots to be more earnestly grotesque in front of the camera. Matt Walsh has not created a clever character like a racist. He's basically constructed.
Dude, fire me, fuck, that's disrespectful.
The birthday party with Laura was able to tackle folks, rich folks, at a dinner party with a combination of ableist and rhetoric with the cover a public. When Matt Walsh tried to make similar API dinner, all you need with this character is drawing plays wildly like that. You're not good at playing pranks. You'll directly ask for your password statement. Even password jokes are just or not clever way, like what fighting people that want to mind this structure in the city or employed by being a black ice. Get it? Because the black people are being see, the joke here is that George Floyd was killed by police brutality is that, we should make tribute to the stereotype of black dicks. This is conservative comedy.
Actually, it's not perfect though. Yeah, there's some double standards there, of course. He's a liberal range W. Yeah, he's the right HW a little bit. I thought that guy out there like bullshit years. Yeah, Basco. They hate him too, but not concerned about birth than they do it. So like that, I think. Yeah, I think they do. What's that? Suha. Got me, man. He got me. God, Floyd, that was. Actually. No. You're right. What? There's no power. Not sure.
Maybe you should actually, read up on why people were lied to and how they got that footage.
Matt Walsh plays Matt Walsh on a
God, he's a good fighter. Almost killed two of my chicks.
guy being diversity,
Talented. It's that
diversity,
big.
equity, and inclusion.
Hey Jeremy, maybe do basic fucking research on the shit you think is funny. The only funny thing about Am I Racist was that the people were trying to get okay, so
You clean.
that
That bastard. Ah, fuck it.
specific folks like Joe just go over and Joe Rogan says no shit thing. The David Ryan also said that Am I Racist up the documentary and
Ooh, counted it.
where it's due. Really have the most documentary of that year.
Oh, fuck.
Down the stiff up bounce back to a debate. Take that, film about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and a movie about the United Nations screwing over the Democratic Republic of Congo. You might have gotten an Oscar nomination, but Am I Racist made a cool
Good. What's up? What's up? Ooh.
That's original title based on fantasy books, but Harry Boring really is a product of and the production footage looks fantastic, but I doubt the life because they're also working on an adaptation of High Attack Drug, which just sounds like a good idea, like that was attempted with the book. It's so bad that the budget kept getting cut in half. And stuff like that. And they even had to have the actors and like nobody like collectively making sure they have those knowledge. What needs to take you on this adaptation? And then it's an adaptation.
What the fuck? I died? What the hell hit me?
Okay, but this is all the Daily Wire has made it pretty clear that their biggest target is fun. And the bare minimum for Disney is that you beat media and eventually David is wanting them to and that's where parts. And it's just parts 3.
Thanks, please. Oh, you fuck this game.
The Daily Wire's credit, the programming on this
See all three of us, fuck.
aspiration of not being able to split it, which is another way of saying that people didn't. Dungy's flagship cartoon was Chinchilla, a cartoon about a family of chinchillas living in suburbia. The most notable aspect of this cartoon, aside from the comedian Rob Schneider, was that it garnered a controversial success.